Hello students, a very good morning to you. As you know that your UT is today, so you have to revise your all chapters quickly. So without wasting any time, let's continue revision of chapter 3, that is plant kingdom. Let's try to complete the revision of this chapter in a quick way. So students, we will study about plant kingdom, means all the plant species are kept in this kingdom on the basis of their presence of chlorophyll. As we know that plants placed in this kingdom are multicellular organisms, means their body bears multicellular cells. It means they have different structures, but all these structures varying from size, smaller size to larger size, means from thallophyta to angiosperms. So students, how this possible? They are possible due to different classification system. As we know that before we study this topic, we know that in second chapter how classification was done in biological classification. Here the plant kingdom is classified on the basis of different systems, means natural classification system, then artificial classification system, then cytotaxonomy, then chemotaxonomy, etc. etc. These are the classification systems. Clear students? Again, phylogenetic also here. Phylogenetic. So let's understand what is natural, what is artificial, and what is cytotaxonomy, chemotaxonomy, and phylogenetic classification system. In natural classification, we have already know that how the plants are divided, means depending on their morphology, their anatomy, means physiology, etc. etc. How what type of flower they bear, what type of root they have, how their morphology looks, they are branched, climbers, creepers, etc. etc. And in artificial classification system, we saw that how their vegetative characters, what are their androecium, how is their gynoecium, where are the reproductive organs present, how many ovules, how many petals, how many sepals, all these included in artificial classification system. Next is phylogenetic classification system, which is based on the evolutionary relationship, means which plants evolve first on the earth, then which last. So on this basis also plant kingdom is divided. Next, chemotaxonomy and cytotaxonomy. As we know that in chemotaxonomy and cytotaxonomy, based on the chemical constituents. From the name chemo you can able to understand, this is based on chemical composition. Chemical composition of the plant parts. And in cytotaxonomy, it is related with numbers. We can say that the structure, behavior, chromosome number, and cell division. Structure, behavior, cell division, and chromosome number. So students, these are the basis of classification of plant kingdom, and on this criteria, the plant kingdom is divided into major 5 divisions. That is thallophyta, which is called as algae, then your bryophyta, then pteridophyta, here P is silent, then gymnosperms and angiosperms. Clear? So these 5 classification systems on regarding or on the basis of these 5 classification systems, plant kingdom is again divided into 5 divisions. They are thallophyta, means thallus bearing organisms in this division are placed, then bryophyta, then pteridophyta, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Here I am telling you about a trick how to remember the characteristic features of different divisions. Suppose for example, first you have to understand or to know its habit. What is it? Then habitat, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction. These are the main characters. Habit, one is habit, another is habitat, then mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, and last one is economic importance. Students, remember, you should write about these 5 characters in all these divisions. While you are defining Thallophyta, then you have to write in points its habit. What is its habit? Habitat. Habitat means where it is live. Then mode of nutrition, which type of nutrition it shows, photosynthesis or chemosynthetic, parasites, etc. As you know that all plants are autotrophic in nature. Some of them may chemosynthetic or some of them may photosynthetic. I mean here majority, you can say majority of plant species means 99.9% plant species are photosynthetic autotrophs, means they synthesize their food through photosynthesis. Next, mode of reproduction. Reproduction is of different types: vegetative, asexual, sexual. If vegetatively, then what is the mode of reproduction? Either it bears thallus, it bears spores, it is through binary fission, through multiple fission, through fragmentation, through budding, etc. Next, again, if it is sexual reproduction, then what type of division occurs? Mitotic division or meiosis division. Here you remember student, that if the plant body is diploid, then it goes through meiosis or reduction division to form haploid gametes, and if the plant body or parent body is haploid, then it goes through mitosis to produce the gametes. As we know that the parent may be diploid or haploid, but the gamete formed is always haploid. So these are the points. Again, economic importance. Economic importance, while we are studying about any plants, then every plant have some economic importance. Means we are getting benefits from those plants. So which type of benefits? Whether it is used as fodder, means through which is eaten by the animals, domestic animals, whether it is to carry substances from through sea for a long distance, whether it has a medicinal quality, whether it has high protein quality, whether its woods are so expensive and so valuable, that's why they are called as the economic importance. When they are ornamental, used as ornamental, medicinal, fodder, wood, etc., etc. So these characters you can put in all these groups. Suppose in the question I have give a brief note on Bryophyta. Before you give the brief note on Bryophyta, you have to write these points, and in each point should be defined. Clear, students? So let's start about Thallophyta or algae. Again, algae is divided into 3 major categories depending on the chlorophyll pigment they have. Clear? Algae is again divided into 3 types depending on the chlorophyll pigment they have, and they are as chlorophyceae, then rhodophyceae, then phaeophyceae. Chlorophyceae means if they have green colored chlorophyll pigment. Rhodophyceae means if they have red colored chlorophyll pigment. And phaeophyceae means if they have brown colored chlorophyll pigment. Clear, students? Again, the chlorophyll have different pigments. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, chlorophyll D. Chlorophyll E also present, but in your book, in NCERT book, only 4 types of chlorophylls are mentioned, but you can remember these 5 types of chlorophyll which I have told you: A, B, C, D, E. Instead of this, some more pigments can be found in plants like xanthophylls and carotenoids. So A, B, C, D, E, xanthophylls and carotenoids are some other pigments that are found in the plants. So students, now let's a brief note on chlorophyceae. You know about Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is a species of algae that you have studied in class 10. Its structure is like this. It have 2 flagella, and this is the asexual. It reproduces through asexual means, and it swims by the help of flagella. So you can give the example of Chlamydomonas in chlorophyceae, and you know that chlorophyceae contains the chlorophyll pigment A and B that resemble with the chlorophyll pigment of the higher plants. Clear, students? Clear students? Chlorophyce have chlorophyll A and B. Food stored in it is in the form of starch, and its cell wall is made up of cellulose, and it have 2 to 8 flagellas for movement. So here you can write that they have chlorophyll pigment that resembles with the chlorophyll pigment of higher plants like chlorophyll A and B. Food is stored in the form of starch. They have cellulose, and flagella varies, means from 2 to 8. Some species have 2 flagella and some species have 4 flagella, 8 flagella, etc. And their habitat is fresh water, brackish water, or can survive in marine water. Fresh water means like in ponds or rivers. Brackish water means constant water where no movement of water occurs, and also in marine water. So you can write these points about chlorophyce. Next is your rhodophyce, which is called as red algae. It has chlorophyll pigment A and D. It has chlorophyll pigment A and D. Whereas the species of chlorophyce has chlorophyll pigment AB, whereas rhodophyce has A and D. Again, students, you can see here that it is stored the food in the form of Floridian starch, and its cell wall is made up of cellulose or pectin or polysulfate esters, etc., etc. Here flagella is absent, means the species of rhodophyce lacks flagella, and they can also grow in marine, means deep marine water like seas and oceans, and they also provides the nutrition to the other animals in the ocean. Next is your Phaeophyce, which is called as brown algae. Brown algae also contains chlorophyll A, C and fucoxanthin. Phaeophyce or brown algae contains chlorophyll A, C and fucoxanthin. Here it's very simple to remember. Chlorophyce have chlorophyll pigment AB. Then Phaeophyce have chlorophyll AC, and rhodophyce have chlorophyll AD. Clear students? So this is the chlorophyll pigment, and here I have told you that how food stored in the form of mannitol and laminarin. Mannitol and laminarin is the food that are stored in Phaeophyce. Clear students? And they have also some of flagella, means either two, they are unequal or lateral, like one arise like this and one like this, means they are unequal. One is large size and one is small size. They may arise laterally. So these are the characters of chlorophyce, Phaeophyce, rhodophyce and Phaeophyce, means about algae. Again, I have told you the mode of reproduction. This is the most important factor. All the species of algae, with some exceptions, show haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle means majority of their lifespan spent through haplontic, means their parent body is haploid. So if the parent body is haploid, then they have to produce the haploid gamete. That's why the parent body goes through mitosis, like N. So algae has maximum shows haplontic life cycle with some exceptions, means some species of algae shows diplontic life cycle, which you will see in alternation of generation. Next, if the parent body is diploid, then its life cycle spent maximum in diplontic life cycle, means parent body diploid, then it have to produce haploid gamete, then it have to go through meiosis, means reduction division to form 4 haploid gametes. If it shows haplodiplontic, means half of the time periods like this is haplontic, this is diplontic, and this is haplodiplontic. Half M phase, half 2N phase, here N phase, 2N phase, this is N phase and this is 2N phase. So in these 3 type of life cycles you can see in the species of algae. Next, economic importance. As I have told you, the species of plants have great economic importance. So they have water holding capacity, due to which they are used in the transportation, ship transportation, means Aquatic animals are put in the species of algae and they are transported to the different parts, means to a long distance. That's why they are used in transportation. Some of them are also used as food. You know about laminaria, sargassum. Clear students? Laminaria, sargassum, agar. They are used in making ice creams. Agar is making for ice cream or jellies. That is called agar-agar. Clear? So this is a species of algae. So here students, I have told you about economic importance. As we are revising quickly, so here no time to explain some more about it. You can follow the previous videos. So let's move to next kingdom, that is your Bryophyta. The species of Bryophyta also shows haplontic life cycle and they are called as the amphibians of plant kingdom because they can survive both on land and water. They need water for their reproduction, otherwise they can survive, live on land. That's why it is said that during evolutionary time periods, bryophytes are considered as amphibians of plant kingdom, and they also shows different type of life cycle like haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic. So how these are divided? Bryophyta is categorized into two parts. One is liverwort and another is moss. Bryophyta, liverworts and moss. Clear? So they have shows different life cycles, and these liverworts and mosses. If I give you the example of liverwort is Mercansia and Rixia. Mercansia and Rixia. Mercansia and Rixia are the examples. As I have told you, some of them are haploid and diploid like algae. So they go through reduction division if they are diploid, and they go through equational division if they haploid to form gametes. Again, they have economic importance and the mode of nutrition is only photosynthesis, means they use sunlight for photosynthesis. And reproduction is through vegetative reproduction. They reproduce by means of fragmentation or by forming gamma. And the sex organs are Antheridia is the male sex organ, whereas Archegonia is the female sex organ. So female sex organ is constant and it produces egg, and Antheridia produces antherozoids which moves through water and falls on the mouth of Archegonia where fertilization occurs. And after fertilization, the parent body simultaneously do not undergoes through meiosis. It forms the sporophyte. Then the sporophytes again go through meiosis to form haploid spores, which are again germinated as a new parent or new plant. That it shows the haplontic life cycle. Clear students? Next is your mosses. Mosses, another part of Bryophyta, and they are completed their life cycle through protonoma stage and leafy stage. In protonoma stage, they bear primary sex organ, and in leafy stage, they bear secondary sex organ. Means the protonoma and leafy are interrelated with each other. Clear students? So in leafy, the stem-like axis bears spirally and attached to the substratum. And vegetative propagation, I have told you that vegetative propagation through fragmentation, their body is divided into many fragments. And sexual reproduction, as I have told you, the zygote develops into sporophyte and the sporophyte bears spores. Next, move to Pteridophyta. Students, as we are revising, so let's do it quickly. Pteridophyta is another division of plant kingdom which is consists of, it is considered that they are the first plants on land that possess, means create vascular tissue. Vascular tissue means xylem, phloem. Xylem and phloem are not so much developed in this species, but it is said that the species of Pteridophyta seems to be have vascular tissue or vascular system. That's why we can say that pteridophytes during evolution, plant evolution, when you will study in class 12 of evolution, you can see plant evolution, and in plant evolution how the pteridophytes gymnosperms, angiosperms are evolved from one another and they depend on each other. So students, next is your Thallophyta. It is said that they are the first plants who acquire on lands or who grow on lands bearing vascular tissue. Sorry, this is Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta are the first species having vascular tissue which acquire the earth. Clear? They need water for fertilization like bryophytes. Some of the species of Pteridophyta needs water for fertilization. Means the male gamete moves or needs water medium to go towards the female gametes. That's why they are called as water is needed by them. Clear students? Next is your, they have dominant phase is sporophyte. Sporophyte parent body means their dominating phase is 2N. Dominating phase 2N means its maximum life cycle goes through sporophytic phase and sporangia is formed, and inside sporangia spores are formed and these spores are reproduced. Some of them reproduce sexually and some of them reproduce asexually. Clear students? The gametophytic phase, the sporophytic phase is large, the gametophytic phase is small and inconspicuous. Gametophytic phase is small and inconspicuous. Clear students? So, let's continue. Next, it's after gametophytic phase, we can say that the fusion of gametes means singly occurs inside the archegonium and the sporophytic plant develops. Again, it has 4 divisions: Coelopsida, Lycopsida, from which lycopes are grown, Lycopsida or Lycopsida, Spinopsida and Pteropsida. They are the 4 classes of pteridophytes. Next division is your gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are it is thought to be ancestors of angiosperms, and they have the complete land plants and they reproduce by means of sexual reproduction. They have different structures. Majority of species of gymnosperms are grow on desert medium or in xerophytic medium where less water is available. That's why their leaf is spiny in structure, like your cycas and pinus, ginkgoes, etc., etc. So the species of gymnosperms, we can say that they also have many important characters, like they help in the nitrogen fixation, like your pinus. Pinus helps in the nitrogen fixation, means they help or trap the atmospheric nitrogen and fix in the roots of the plants. Again, as I have told you, vascular tissue is well developed. Spores are formed from meiosis. Clear? Male reproductive and female reproductive parts either in the same cone or on the different cone, which are called as stropili. Male part is called archegonia and male part is called as antheridia and female part is called as archegonia. Antheridia forms antherozoids, archegonia forms archegoniophore, and sometimes they bear also pollen grains which pollinated male pollen grains, means pollen grains which contains the male gamete moves towards the female part, which is called as the pistil or carpel, inside which ovary or embryo sac is present, inside which fertilization occurs. The zygote develops and converts into seed or ovule and fruit is formed. They are considered as gymnosperms as they have naked seed. Gymno means naked and sperma means seed. So they are called as naked seed. Again, next move to angiosperms. Angiosperms are considered to be the last evolution of plants, and all the higher plants are included in this. Here sexual reproduction occurs, in some vegetative propagation also occurs, like your rose, banana, etc., etc. But maximum plants reproduce through sexual means. means by help of forming male gamete and female gamete. Female gamete is called as egg cell, whereas the male gamete is called as the pollen grain, which contains two male gamete. It shows alternation of generation, means from gametophytic phase to sporophytic phase and sporophytic to gametophytic phase. It means the species of angiosperm show diplontic life cycle. Diplontic life cycle. Why they show diplontic life cycle? Because the sporophytic phase is twin and the sperm only goes through meiosis during gamete formation. Rest of the body grows through mitosis, whereas for producing spores they go through meiosis. That's why they are called as sporophytic generation, or we can say as diplontic life cycle. So here pollen grain is formed in the male part, means in the anther, and female gamete is egg cell is formed in the ovary, which is called as the female part, that is gynoecium or pistil or carpel. After formation of male and female gamete, the male gamete is transferred to the female part by means of pollination, where insects or birds or wind, water, means biotic and abiotic agents are involved. And after pollination, fertilization occurs. After fertilization, the ovule get converted into seed and the ovary get converted into fruit. So in angiosperms, the main characteristic feature is the fruit, means the seed is covered by fruits. So they are considered to be covered sperma or covered seed, as their seed is covered, so they are called as angiosperms. All angiosperms has many economic importance, as I have told you. They source atmospheric nitrogen fixation. They give us fruits, they give us food, they give us fodder, they give us wood for making homes. They give us many economic importance, like they have some ornamental characters, means they bear beautiful flowers which we use for decorating our houses or in marriage ceremonies, etc., etc. They are used for doing various activities. That's why we can here quickly know about the species of plant kingdom and how they are divided or differentiated into many categories. So simply you have to remember, plant kingdom is divided into 5 divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, Angiosperm. Again, Thallophyta is divided into 3 types: Chlorophysi, Phaeophysi, Rhodophysi, and their characters you have to read from your NCERT book. Already I have discussed. Then your Bryophyta, in which moss and liverworts are come. Then in Pteridophyta, 4 classes: Lycopsida, Pteropsida, Synopsida, and Psilopsida. Next, Gymnosperm. In Gymnosperm, I have told you they are the first vascular plant. They bears the well-developed vascular system in xylem and phloem. They are majority grown in the desert mediums. They can grow everywhere, but majority of species grow in desert medium. Then again, I have told you about the angiosperms, which are the last evolution of plants on earth, and various type of plants are considered in angiosperms, like from creepers, climbers, small plants to large plants like your eucalyptus. So they have also many economic importance. The sporophytic generation, means diplontic life cycle, and only they go through meiosis to form gametes. Otherwise, rest of the body part they show diplontic life cycle. So students, this is all about your angiosperms. And the result of fertilization of angiosperm is forming seed. Its seed is covered, and in gymnosperms the seed is naked. That's why they are considered as gymnosperm and they are considered as angiosperm. And the species of angiosperms reproduce through pollination. Pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, due to which fertilization takes place inside the female, and the male gamete is always produced in large numbers. Clear? Whether it is a simpler plant or a complex plant, always the male gamete is formed in large numbers, which help in the fertilization and production of fruit. Fruit and seed are the last product of fertilization. And the next topic here is your alternation of generation. I have told you that how a seed get converted into plant and again produces gametes, and these gametes again fertilize to form a plant. So this type of formation, conversion, means from plant to gamete, then gamete to plant. This type of rotation in their life cycle is called as alternation of generation, means from sporophytic to gametophytic and gametophytic to sporophytic. Clear students? So in alternation of generation, you can write that how some species show diplontic life cycle, haplontic life cycle and haplodiplontic life cycle, and can give the examples. And you should learn your NCERT book, you study your NCERT book thoroughly line by line, and should underline. If any doubt, then you can ask us. Clear, students?